I have two updates for you. In a previous video 2 hours ago, I informed you about an executive order from US President Joe Biden in which he detailed upcoming sanctions on Ethiopian and Eritrean governments and TPLF as well in case of continuation of hostilities. We were waiting for response from Ethiopian government, Eritrean government and Tigray's government. Ethiopian government has issued a very strong statement in response to Joe Biden's executive order. We'll have a detailed look at this statement. So far, Tigray's government and Eritrea have not issued any statement. Before that, viewers, in the previous video, I told you about political chaos in Somalia, where President and Prime Minister are locked into a political dispute. I informed you about Fahad Yassin, current National Security Advisor and former head of intelligence agency. He was not allowed to land in Mogadishu today. A correction made by some viewers that the flight which Fahad Yassin was boarding, it flew from Istanbul to Mogadishu through Djibouti. It was a transit flight. It was not rerouted to Djibouti. When the flight, a Turkish airline flight, when it landed in Djibouti, reportedly Somali security officials informed Turkish airline that it must not bring Fahad Yassin to Mogadishu. Then we saw a statement from a spokesperson of Somali president. He accused Djibouti that Djibouti had taken into custody Fahad Yassin. Foreign Minister of Djibouti has issued a statement. He says that Djibouti's government has not arrested Fahad Yassin. The latest viewers is that Turkish airline is taking all the passengers and Fahad Yassin back to Istanbul. It's not going to Mogadishu because Somali security officials have told Turkish airline that it must not bring Fahad Yassin to Mogadishu. The flight is going back to Istanbul. Now, I have an important question, viewers. Can Somali Prime Minister stop a Somali national from entering Somalia? Fahad Yassin is a Somali national. How can you stop him from entering Somalia? Roble's PM's supporters say that Fahad Yassin wants to mobilize militias in Mogadishu. He is a threat to national security. But on the basis of this allegation, can you stop Fahad Yassin, who is a close ally of President Farmajo? Can you stop him from entering Mogadishu, from entering Somalia? Tension still there, viewers. Coming hours, very crucial. Now, statement from Ethiopian government in response to an executive order from US President Joe Biden. Ethiopian government has asked 3 questions in this statement. Firstly, it says the TPLF remained in power in Ethiopia for 27 years and it was involved in human rights abuses. It launched a crackdown on political dissent. Where was the US when TPLF was committing these atrocities? Secondly, the statement asks that why is that US government is not taking a position against TPLF, which was designated a Tier 3 terrorist outfit in 1980s by US Homeland Security? And thirdly, third question is that the US launched a war on terror in 2001. Does Ethiopia have a right to launch a war on terror? Ethiopian government is saying that it is fighting a war on terror by fighting TPLF. So it has every right to launch a war on terror, just like US did in 21. Then there's four more points have been made by Ethiopian government in this statement. It says that election was held on the 21st of June in Ethiopia. 40 million Ethiopians cast their votes. They elected PP, Prosperity Party, which has now every right to make decisions about the future of this nation. Secondly, it says that US government is misguided. It has been misguided by inaccurate and fake reports by some members of global entities. Definitely here Ethiopian government is referring to international news outlets. And lastly, the statement says that in the past, US has made some decisions which were rash, hurried decisions, which led to devastation in several places. And in the end, Ethiopian government says it will not succumb to any pressure. So the message from Ethiopian government is very clear. It has rejected Joe Biden's executive order. Statement was very much expected. 2 hours ago, we discussed that Ethiopian government would issue a strong statement. We saw such a statement few months ago as well, when the US imposed visa restrictions and some other financial restrictions on Ethiopian government regarding Tigray conflict. Back then, we saw similar response. And in coming hours, maybe tomorrow, we could see protests as well. We could see Prosperity Party holding large rallies. We could see US flag burnt as well, like we saw a few months ago when US imposed sanctions, visa restrictions on the Ethiopian government. We could see the same in coming days. Ethiopian government is trying to take on the US government. It has rejected the statement, the executive order of Joe Biden. We are waiting for official statement from Tigray's government as well. How will TPLF-led government respond to Joe Biden's executive order? Because the executive order says that all sides should start talks without preconditions. TPLF has laid out some preconditions. Will it withdraw from these preconditions or not? We'll see. We're waiting for statement from Tigray's government. Then statement from Eritrean government is also awaited. US Embassy in Eritrea has issued a statement on its page. US Embassy in Eritrea says that upcoming sanctions will not be ordinary ones, they'll be pinching ones. So US is sending a very strong message to all the parties that very strict restrictions are going to come into force in coming days if this conflict goes on. Because this executive order has come at a very crucial time. Ethiopian National Defense Force, Amhara forces, they are making preparations for another phase of this conflict. Ethiopian government has purchased weaponry from Turkey, from Iran. It has made huge recruitments in ENDF regional forces. And after the end of rainy season, we could see a renewed offensive from ENDF and Amhara forces on TDF inside Amhara, or maybe inside Tigray too, though I see the upcoming offensive in Amhara. So at this crucial time, the US is trying to stop this conflict, but Ethiopian government sees this US attempt as an effort by the US to resuscitate TPLF. Let's see how TPLF responds, how Tigray's government responds to this executive order issued by Joe Biden, US President. Thank you for watching.